LEGO sent me all of Series 28, and I'm going to give you my honest ranking and review of all of these minifigures. Which one's the best and which one's the worst? These released January 1st. My least favorite of this series is the Dolphin girl. It's a design that's very similar to the shark from Series 15. I mean, you even have the same piece for the fins and the whole color scheme here, so it doesn't feel super distinguished. I mean, I do like that head-tail combo at least. That is a pretty interesting piece. I also think that the face print underneath is a really lame reuse where we just have the design that we've seen in so many sets that was first introduced, I believe, around 2015 for LEGO Juniors. We also got a very boring accessory, which is this clam right here with one of those 1x1 jewel pieces. The bunny is a retread that we've seen before. We got a Series 7 bunny, but we also got March Harriet. And we've seen so many different designs for that bunny outfit that was used with those two minifigures in promotional sets. However, this time we have a completely new mask piece, which you can see the shaping is especially different with a bent ear there. So that's kind of adorable. Every character in this series has a new mask piece, by the way. The design of this has a new facial expression, which at first I didn't even know was new. I thought it was a retread, but no, you have a winky face right there, and then an alternate expression as well. And I do like the back torso printing here, but part of me almost wishes they introduced a bunny tail hip attachment piece, which would have been a little bit more interesting than just getting some of bunny tail printed at the bottom right there. One of the accessories is a new print for an egg, which actually looks really cool. It gives me Easter vibes. And you also get this existing basket, which we've seen before, as an accessory as well. I like the cat more than the last two. Even though it's a trope that we've seen before, we saw a cat costume person in Series 18. However, this uses a completely different mask piece. And it gives us a very useful recolor of that tail we've seen used for Rocket Raccoon and even inappropriately used with Tom Nook. The printing here just feels more interesting as well, where we actually do get a new printed face, which I love the alternate sleeping expression. And I also like the printing on the torso, which has a little collar with a heart on it. I really wish that was like unprinted just so that you could have a cute choker for a minifigure. Regardless, there's also some slight printing for that collar at the back of the minifigure, which is pretty impressive to me. I do wish that the yarn ball was a new piece. As with the last numbered CMF series, we got the same colored yarn ball with another cat minifigure, but it was the cat boy. Next would be the koala outfit. I mean, we haven't gotten a koala costume like this before, so that's a plus. I also especially like the face printing, where we have this expression on one side with a sleep mask, and then an alternate expression with just kind of a sleepy but awake and smiling head print. However, that is something that came in one set before, which was a Lego City airplane from a couple years ago. So it's not something that's exactly exclusive, but it was in a much more expensive set, so I like that it's being reprinted here. Apparently it was also a Build-A-Minifigure part, which I guess is a cheaper option if you have a Lego store near you. Now the pieces here for the accessories are nothing too interesting. The boomerang makes sense, you know, the land down under, but we did see it in this color with a couple of icon sets, which are more expensive sets to be fair in this very year of 2025 that I'm reviewing this. Then we also have this stem piece right here, which is incredibly common. It's been used as parts for other minifigures back in collectible minifigure series like the giraffe. And we'll talk about a reuse from the giraffe later in this video. Now my printing in particular for this figure has weird markings on it, like it just came out pretty poorly. The printing on the koala mask is fine. And then at the very back, there's no printing whatsoever. One of the more detailed minifigures in this series is this Peacock person. This uses a really extravagant tail piece, which is actually a recolor of an existing tail from a CMF series, which was Series 24's Turkey, which was kind of like a tie-in to Thanksgiving in a way. This time we have it in this really nice aqua coloring with some fantastic printing for those feathers at the back. That of course attaches at the hips. And you have a completely new mask piece as well, which I like seeing that silverish printing at the very top. I find that fascinating. We have a recolor of the feathered arm pieces, which can't hold accessories, and you'll see that one more time in this very series. This is not the first time we're getting it in that blue coloring, as it came with the Roadrunner with the Looney Tunes CMF. I do like getting torso printing that's not only on this side, but it's on the back, even though you can't really see the back. That goes above and beyond, if you ask me. And there's also nice dual molded legs, which I'm not sure ever came in this color combination before, with that aqua top and yellow bottom going on there. Beyond that, there's also an accessory built with 3 pieces, which is this interesting flower design that we saw introduced in 2025, a stud at the top of that, and then one of these 1x1 leaf pieces as well. The only thing that kind of stinks with this figure is that it uses an extremely common face print. It's one that was introduced back with the giraffe person from the Lego Movie 2 series. We've seen that in countless sets. Next is a Dalmatian, which we have gotten a dog costume in the Lego Collectible Minifigure series before with the Pug of Series 21, which did get a variant in Build-A-Minifigure in 2021 with different colors. But a Dalmatian is a much different look than a pug, so it feels unique enough. And this is also a figure that I could see so much use from just by those arms, and if you want to go that far, the legs. You see, that's spotted all over, which you could use for Spot from Lego Marvel. Of course, we did get a Dalmatian minifigure in Bluey this year that had a similar design, but it is still a different arm printing design. Regardless, I also love the use of a tail that we previously saw with the T-Rex minifigure from a Collectible Minifigure series. This time it's in white though, which is very useful. But yeah, the printing here is awesome, where you have printing at the side of the legs, side of the arms, back of the torso, and even all around that new mask piece. The mask piece, like every other mask piece in this series, is completely new and exclusive. I also love the design for the face print, with that tongue sticking out as one facial expression, and the alternate facial expression is pretty cute as well. Now there's one accessory, and it's actually a pretty cool accessory. It's a disc, kind of like a frisbee, but they probably can't legally say frisbee, which is just a printed 2x2 circular tile, but yeah, that could be useful in Lego City settings. Honestly, great minifigure if you ask me. Yeah, and I almost swapped the Dalmatian for this lion Spot, but I think the lion is just a little bit better. It's the first time we ever got a lion costume minifigure complete. However, there was the Luna Lovegood Series 2 for Harry Potter collectible minifigures, which did give us a lion mask. This one is a slightly different head costume piece right there for the mask. And there's also a really awesome addition of this tail piece right here, which is a hip connection. It's a rubbery design, and I just love the shaping there and how you have coloring at the end right there. That's a very fun piece, and I'd love to see that recolored in different designs. This does have a really fun face print where you have a roaring alternate expression, and then this face right here. The one-sided torso print has printing all the way to the top, even with that mask covering some of that. And then we also have some printing at the feet right here, which it's one of the few minifigures of this series to do that. Only thing I don't like about this figure is the accessory is very boring. It's just this meat right here, which we've seen this turkey or chicken leg countless times in this color before. Maybe even just a simple change of color would have made this all the more interesting. Next is the Parrot costume girl, which, hey, we've seen a lot of different birds as costume characters in these minifigure series. I mean, even in this very series, we have a peacock and a parrot. But these are very distinguished birds. This does feel like a unique entry. Like I said, with all these, the mask is a completely new piece, and I really like the shaping there with how bulky that beak is, and you got some nice printing around that front right there. But I really love the printing on the feathered arms right there, where you got a stripe that's yellow and a stripe that's blue, which is awesome. There's also a very interesting cloth piece, which is actually two different cloth pieces for the tail right there. I like how one is bigger than the other, and I think that fits really well. Even though I'm not a huge fan of cloth pieces, I'd give an excuse to this one with how clever that came out. Now there's also some nice dual molded legs I haven't seen in this color before, with the red top and then those sand blue boots, quote unquote. And I really love the face print going on here, which is a print that you could use outside of this setting. The singing one is especially fun. Rarely do we get minifigures with open mouth expressions and closed eyes. The alternate one is cool as well. My favorite part though might be this little snack box right here for Parrot snacks. I don't know, I'm a sucker for box snacks and stuff like that. I think the printing on there is pretty dang adorable. That has a 1x2 tile at the top, and the printing is one-sided. Next we have the monkey. The design of this has a really awesome new mask piece going on there. I like the tuft of hair at the top. And we have a nice recolor of a tail that was used in the Monkey Kid sets. That, of course, attaches at the hips. I like this facial expression, too, which is pretty interesting. I mean, there's one side that has a Band-Aid design, and then another side where they're sticking out their tongue, but there's no Band-Aid. People were speculating in my comments that the Band-Aid came after the monkeys stuck out their tongue, where they were like smacked or something. That would be pretty violent. I'm amazed Lego put that as a reference, so I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something there. There's printing on the torso, only on one side, and then the feet, which is really nice. I do wish the accessory was a little bit more interesting. It's a banana, which we've seen countless times before, but that is like the perfect accessory for a monkey, so I don't completely blame them. And my third favorite of the series is the Goldfish costume person. I absolutely love this piece for the Goldfish mask, which has a tail at the back. Not only is the fins at the back there very impressive, but I love the printing for these goldfish scales at the side, at the top of that mask, and at the other side as well. And seeing the design of those lips right there is just hilarious. I would have a lot of fun using that on some cursed minifigure heads. The design of the face is the only disappointing part of this figure, as that is a design that we got with the mushroom costume person from a couple series ago. I do like getting a recolor of those fin pieces, this time in orange for the first time. And the design of the scales continues to the torso and the mid legs right there, which is excellent. Love the shine on those. The back of the torso has printing for those scales as well. And then there's an awesome accessory of some fish food, which is a print on a 1x1 cylinder piece, which I kind of wish had the design of a Lego fish piece on there, since this doesn't really look like any goldfish from Lego. But hey, that is still a very useful and nice printed cylinder. You do have a 1x1 tile at the top there. My second favorite minifigure of this series is the Crocodile. Or is it a gator? It could actually pass as both. It's indistinct. The design here has a really lovely mask piece with a tail attachment, all one piece. I love the spikes at the back there and just the shaping of that whole design. It's a great piece. Now this does invoke some feelings of the Series 5 lizard guy, which earlier in this video I said the dolphin was too much like the shark. So I guess you could use that ideology on this minifigure right here, but dang it, I love the Series 5 lizard guy, and I feel like this animal is distinct enough. Okay, I'm sorry, dolphin fans, you could justifiably call me out in the comments, but this is my list, dang it. Regardless, I also really like the face print here with the silver lipstick design for two expressions, which is really awesome. Great torso and leg printing as well, simple but effective. Then you even have a great accessory. It's not an exclusive piece, but it's an exclusive color for a piece. And this is a piece that's introduced in 2026 sets of a life preserver. It's in the Coast Guard 2026 sets for City. This is exclusive to this set in this pinkish coloring, and I guess that's used to lure the Croc's lunch. You know, have some minifigures just chilling out with that life preserver, and then they'll chomp them from below. You also get an accessory for a rubber ducky, which isn't new, but hey, you already got one cool accessory, might as well throw in a slightly uncommon accessory as well. And my favorite minifigure of this series is the frog costume. The design here is pretty amazing if you ask me. First off, frog costume, right away I think of Super Mario Bros. 3. I guess both characters used a frog costume, but I always associated that with Luigi. The design here has excellent arm printing, which it's one of the few minifigures in this series have arm printing. I think aside from the Dalmatian, the only minifigure with regular arms have arm printing here. Printing at the back of the torso, and even dual molded legs, which is very neat. And that has printing at the front down to the feet there, and above with that second part right here. And then the design of this frog mask is just awesome. It's very distinct. I can't think of any other minifigures with this design, and I love the shaping of the mouth there. But of course, the face print underneath there is awesome. You could use it as a minifigure whistling, or in this case, they use it as a minifigure blowing a bubble, which the arrangement of that little bubble blowing device right there, I don't know what else to call it, has a really clever part usage where we get a new color for that new 2025 bulb piece, and then one of these little short pole pieces with the stud on them. That's really awesome. And I love how in certain angles, it looks like they're completely blowing that bubble. Now this also has a great alternate face as well, and there's another fantastic accessory, which is this little cylinder of bubbles to blow. I could even see people passing this as a soap canister as well. Much like the fish food, it has a 1x1 tile at the very top. That's it for my ranking. I should also point out how each minifigure comes with an awesome lime green recolor of the minifigure plate piece. But overall, there's a lot I really like about this series, but I can't help but feel how limited LEGO executed this idea of an entirely costume minifigure series. I think back to the Space series of 26, where the idea could have been limited, but instead we got a breath of some of the most creative minifigures LEGO has ever put out, a variety that could please so many different types of minifigure fans. Here, in Series 28, they stick to the idea that we've seen in most other numbered series of people in open-face animal costumes, some of which overlap pre-existing animals that we've seen from these series. I wish we had some variety, like how our first ever costume CMF was a full fursuit, a gorilla mask with a sweaty person underneath. I wish LEGO went outside of the box here. It's especially annoying to see about a third of the minifigures in this series using pre-existing face prints, or very common accessories. This is still worth the $5 per detailed minifigures, but in the grand scheme of numbered CMF series, it's easily one of my least favorites. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree? Tell me which ones are your favorites and what you think of my ranking. Seriously, you leave me a comment helps so much with the rough algorithm and this channel. You subscribing as well helps out, so hit that subscribe button, and you liking the video, so hit that like button. I'll see you later. Peace out. Thank you to LEGO for sending me this early. Bye.